And now a KYW News Future exclusive from Newsweek magazine, Treasury Department. The Secret Service is urging that armed guards in the four South American nations Ike will visit next month be lined up to face the crowds, not Ike. In several of the Asian and African countries he visited last month, soldiers stood with backs to the crowds and muzzles of their submachine guns pointed right at the president as he drove by. It would have been no trick at all, says one agent, for a spectator on the curb to have reached a trigger and sprayed the president's car. Cloudy and a little cooler tonight, low 28 degrees. Cloudy and warmer tomorrow and tomorrow night, high tomorrow 40. In Canton and Navarre, it's 32 degrees, while in Parma and Cleveland, it's 33. That's KYW News. Ivan Scott reporting. Next news at 10:30.
This is Carl Stern, and this is KYW's Program PM Part 2. Thank you, Ivan, for the late news, and let me remind listeners that they can win $25 for being on the spot with a news story and calling Ohio's largest news center at Cherry 10947. 25 smackaroos at Cherry 10947, the best news tip of the month. Time now for a news segment on Program PM. Starting tonight, PM Goes Calling. Program PM visiting towns in northern Ohio. An opportunity for your Buckeye neighbors to visit the town in which you live via Program PM. In the minutes to come, you'll hear a complete portrait and sound of the town of Norwalk, Ohio. You'll hear its mayor, its businessmen, its residents, its educators, all those people and places that add up to the town called Norwalk. And in the weeks to come, Program PM will be visiting other towns, Ravenna, Wadsworth, and with your help and interest, your town. Now, it's a bad neighbor or an impolite one that requests his own invitation. But in this case, PM is putting aside tradition. If you'd like Program PM to visit your town, just send me a letter telling Program PM about your town, its population, its commerce, its busy, historic, and interesting places. If your town is selected, you'll actually spend the day as our host, guiding us around your town as PM Goes Calling. That's what Kenneth Conway of Norwalk, Ohio did. And that's why tonight, Program PM Goes Calling on Norwalk. This is Carl Stern, and this is KYW's Program PM Goes Calling. Program PM visiting towns in northern Ohio. And tonight, Kenneth Conway, this is your town, Norwalk, Ohio. And why did you invite Program PM to Norwalk?
Well, Carl, I like Norwalk, and I wanted you and KYW to come up here and just see what we have in Norwalk.
Well, what would you like us to see?
Well, I'd like you to see the mayor, our hospital, some of the industry in town, the schools, and the people.
How large a town is Norwalk, Ken?
Norwalk is about 12,000 people.
And located about how many miles from Cleveland, and in which direction?
It's 50 miles west of Cleveland. It's just about between Cleveland and Toledo.
Right. We came up here, by the way, along the Ohio Turnpike and made it in pretty good time. You're not so far from Cleveland as you might think.
No, we're not.
Do you have a family of your own here?
No, I don't. My father, of course, is located in Norwalk, and I am in business with him.
Right, and we're standing at the front window of that business looking out onto the street of Norwalk. What is the name of the business?
This is the Norwalk Parts Company.
And why did you choose to go into business with your father here? You could have gotten a job, I'm sure, in some other city, perhaps in Cleveland or Chicago or anywhere you would have wished to. Why did you decide to stay here in Norwalk?
Well, I like the community of Norwalk, and it's been good to me, and I enjoy living here.
Have you lived here all your life?
I've lived here since I was 6 years old.
You have. I noticed in the letter that you sent to us, you said that it's a town in which the graciousness of the past and progressiveness and drive of modern industry and business are congenial neighbors. You said it's a people's town, a warm town, a livable town, and in the hour to come, we're going to go out and see the town of Norwalk, and you'll be coming along with us, okay?
I'll enjoy doing that, Carl.
Program PM calling on the town of Norwalk, Ohio. And the first stop, the busy office of Mayor Lewis Fry. I'm in the office of Norwalk Mayor Lewis Fry. And one thing I like about this mayor right away is that he answers the phone himself. Is that a service you have for all your constituents, Mayor Fry?
Very definitely. It's something we expect of all our employees in the city offices. We expect courtesy, promptness, and we're working for the people. The people aren't working for us.
That's quite an answer. I see a sign on your wall which says, "Let's choose our leaders wisely." Why have you hung that on your office wall?
Well, I think they did a good job in choosing me, frankly, Carl. And I thought we might as well publicize it a little bit.
Well, what kind of job is it in the specifics? Every time that phone rings, is the main concern that of services, police, fire, sewers, and so on?
Services are, I'd say, number one function. People expect them. People have a right to expect for the tax dollar service. And in our town, they get a tremendous amount of it, believe me. Our police force and our fire department for a town our size, we're approximately 11 to 12,000, is very adequate. We have a 13-man police force and an 11-man fire department. Our safety, in other words, our safety sections or departments are fine. They're tip-top. We have the same problems that other towns our size have, and that we haven't kept up with the times. We have an adequate sewer system. Storm sewers are our problem. However, we will say this, that this last election, the people of our town gave us a $600,000 storm sewer issue at a margin of 2-1. We have 240 dead elm trees in our town, for instance, and more dying every day. They gave us a $65,000 levy on that at a margin of about 2-1. A tremendous vote of confidence in the administration.
Is Norwalk growing?
Norwalk is very definitely growing. In 1960, our census was 9,975 people. We expect our 1960 census at the end of this year to show that we're anywhere from 11 to 12. We're growing in all ways. We're growing industry-wise, but we pick our industry. We don't want just anybody and his brother in, because we've got the nicest little town in northern Ohio. There's no question about that. We have our own municipal light plant. We have our own water works. We have our own sewer disposal plant. Little things. We pick up your trash once a month. Put it out on the curb. We pick it up. We pick up your Christmas trees. We do anything. We break your leaves and suck them up in leaf cleaners. We do anything we can possibly do to give you money for your tax dollar.
But why did you want to be mayor?
I wanted to be mayor because I thought there was an awful lot this community could do that they weren't doing. And since I think we approved it. I think that today, if you don't move ahead, you're going to die. It's the same as we have people in our town worrying about bypass. I want a bypass. I want it so bad I can taste it. I want to turn our town back into a shopping center. I want to bring the farmers back on Friday and Saturday nights. We've got the finest shopping center in the state of Ohio, and it runs the length of our main street. However, we're healthy here. We're very healthy. We've got a good form of government. We've got good councilmen. We've got men that are interested. If they're not, the people throw them out, and that's the way it should be.
I wouldn't want that to happen to you, Mayor Fry, so I better let you get back to work. Thank you for chatting with us.
Thank you, Carl, for coming in. I appreciate it very much.
In Ken Conway's letter to Program PM, he wrote, "I don't know of a visitor to Norwalk who has driven through town and not been impressed and a little thrilled by the stately colonial homes which line West Main Street." West Main Street, extending 2 miles west of the center of Norwalk out to the Norwalk city line. A street wide, lined with oaks and stately homes. And Program PM stopping by one of those homes, the Charles Barnes Gardner home, and speaking with Mrs. Gardner. And this is a beautiful house. I wish I had television cameras here so that the people could see it. How many rooms are there in this house?
About 30.
30 rooms?
Yes, with the baths and the halls.
Well, how do you keep up a home of this size?
My hourly help and day and weekly help.
How old is the house?
It was built in 1832.
Well, who built this house here in Norwalk?
A man by the name of Breedenberg.
You would be in a position to be able to tell PM a little bit about Norwalk itself. Do you have, can you tell us a little bit about the background of Norwalk, about the city, how long it's been here and so on?
I think it was settled in 1809.
By whom?
My great-grandfather-in-law came here in 1833 and settled here and started the Norwalk National Bank. My husband was a banker, his father was a banker, and his grandfather, who bought this home, was a banker.
Do you live here alone now? There are 30 rooms here. How many of them are occupied?
Well, we don't occupy 6 of the bedrooms.
You don't? I would imagine not. Well, I certainly hope that the home will be kept up. I can honestly say I think it's the most beautiful home that I've ever been in. Tradition and beauty being kept alive here in Norwalk in these stately homes along West Main Street. Mrs. Gardner, thank you very much.
You're very welcome, Carl.
PM calling on Norwalk, Ohio, our host, Ken Conway. And in his letter, after describing the beautiful homes along West Main Street, Ken wrote, "Against this background of respect and preservation of the past flourishes some of the most modern of industries. Norwalk is a transportation center and the home of the Norwalk truck line. And that's where I traveled next." I'm in the office of Norwalk Trucking, talking with the president of the company, Charles Hoke. And is this Norwalk's largest single industry?
Yes, it is.
How many Norwalk residents do you employ here?
We employ about 400.
And how many employees does the company have in total?
In our Western Division, we have about 2,700, and Eastern Division about 1,100.
How long has the company been here in Norwalk?
The company originated in Norwalk back in 1921.
And since then it has grown. How small was it then? What did it start with?
The company originally started with 2 trucks.
And since then has grown considerably.
We now operate over this Western Division about 5,000 pieces of equipment.
Program PM visiting Norwalk's largest business, the Norwalk Truck Line. But it's also a town with a sweet tooth. 5-state home of the Fanny Farmer Candy Company. This would be the place to have smell-o-vision. I'm just inside the kitchen, I believe it's called, of the Fanny Farmer Candy Company, just east of the center of Norwalk. And I'm talking with John Dwyer. I guess you are manager of this entire plant, is that correct?
That's right.
How long have you been located here in Norwalk?
About a year and a half.
How many employees are here?
Approximately 100 now, and at peak seasons around 220.
Are they predominantly local people?
All, with the exception of about 10 that came with us from Detroit.
How large a geographic area does this plant serve?
We take care of 5 states.
John, why did Fanny Farmer choose to locate here in Norwalk?
It's attractive in this sense that we are centrally located, number one. We have a magnificent studio, as we call it, rather than plant here. We have about 14 acres in which to develop in, and we like the city of Norwalk, we like the people, and we thought it was a good place to be. I can say this, as far as Norwalk is concerned, we expect that we will have to put additions onto this studio here as time goes on and our business increases, which means we'll have to employ more people in Norwalk as well.
John Dwyer, thank you very much for chatting with Program PM.
Thank you.
And the next stop for Program PM, back to the center of town. Program PM at the Bank Grill on East Main Street, lunch hour, and the town's merchants gather here to eat their lunch, and I guess to talk over business. Would I be correct in saying that? John Ersthausen, president of the Huron County Bank? Yes. So you are a town banker here in Norwalk, a town of 12,000 people. Is a town of 12,000 sufficient to have a sufficient exchange of money to support commerce at a large scale?
Yes, we're getting along very well here. Our banks are increasing their resources every year, and seems like things are going along normal. I think Norwalk is sort of a crossroad. All the main roads cross here, and we catch a lot of travel where the highways fan out. In other words, you can't hardly go east and west without going through Norwalk or the Turnpike.
Well, John Ersthausen, president of the Huron County Bank, even if you do have banker's hours, I don't want you to be overdrawn on that account. I'll let you conclude your lunch. Thank you very much. Luncheon continues at the Bank Grill on East Main Street, and I'm talking to Del Arrington of the Ohio Fuel Gas Company. And this company is based in Columbus, isn't it?
Our headquarters for the state is in Columbus. That's right, Carl.
And what are you doing in Norwalk, having lunch here?
Well, we're moving our district offices for the northern part of Ohio, moving them from Elyria and Fremont and centralizing in Norwalk.
And are you going to be moving here?
Yes, sir. Hoping to move here about March or April.
Are you looking forward to it?
Yes, I am. I found the people here very nice and very cooperative, and I think I'm going to like this as my home.
Okay. As long as this is your new home, I'll let you get back to eating your lunch. And thank you for chatting with Program PM.
Thank you, Carl.
I'm talking to Jess Stevens, Executive Secretary of the Chamber of Commerce here at the Bank Grill. How does a town the size of Norwalk, 12,000 population, go about attracting new industry here?
Well, of course, we are very, very proud of our labor force, which is frugal New England stock and hard-working group, basically rural, which, of course, gives a feeling of security to industry that wants to locate here for a labor force that's loyal. We have, of course, other smallness of the community, which an industry sometimes enjoys in an atmosphere of being accepted and a part of that community, and we feel that our industry is.
And you've got your own built-in transportation system, your own truck line here in town.
Without a doubt, that's our greatest selling point.
I'll bet it is. Jess Stevens, what's the economic outlook for the future for Norwalk?
We're very optimistic. It's growing by leaps and bounds, and I feel that in the next 5 years, you'll see Norwalk bigger and better and more prosperous.
Okay, we'll have to come back in 5 years and take a look and see how right you were.
I wish you do.
Finishing is, let's see, corned beef and cabbage at the Bank Grill. Mr. Charles Peckham of the Perfected Paint and Appliance Company here in Norwalk. How was the corned beef and cabbage?
Very good, very good.
So you're eating heartily. I better ask you how business is.
This is the largest year we've ever had. I believe that this town is as near depression-proof as any town in the country. I've been here 25 years in business because they're gearing to grow with the town. Oh, definitely. Definitely. I don't think anybody in town knows more about the town and the townspeople than does the barber. I'm on Whittlesey Avenue and talking with Joe Vartarella at Joe's Barbershop. And Joe, how long have you been barber here?
24 years.
24 years. That's quite a length of time. You've got a lot of kids in here. You want to, let's see, how old is this boy? How old are you?
9.
You're 9 years old. What's your name?
I'm 10 years old.
Now,
Yes.
I guess people like getting their haircut everywhere, but that depends also on the price. How much does a haircut cost here in Norwalk? Let's say for a man like myself.
$4.75.
Well, that's about the same everywhere. Joe, what kind of customers do you have?
Well, we have the mayor and the city director and doctors in town here and lawyers.
So the Celebrity Club right here at Joe's Barbershop. They all come in to see you.
That's right.
Do you have a family of your own, Joe?
I have 2 children.
How old are they?
One 12, the girl's 12, and the boy's 8.
Are you going to encourage them to stay in Norwalk?
Well, I would like to here. It's a nice, clean town, and it's not like a big city. Just as nice as any place to live.
Just as nice as any place to live, Norwalk, Ohio, but for many, a special town. Superintendent of schools in Norwalk. And Mr. McBride, how many schools are there under your supervision?
We have 7 buildings, a total of 5 elementary schools, a junior high school, and the senior high school.
Well, what is the total child population?
There are approximately 2,500 children in school this year.
Of school age?
School age, that's right.
Do they come just from within the city limits of Norwalk, or do you also service areas just outside?
Our school district boundary is outside the city limit in a few places, and particularly in the south, where a year ago we annexed the portions of Norwalk and Bronson townships, which formerly comprised the Norwalk-Bronson local school district.
What does a teacher earn here?
A teacher in Norwalk, if she has a bachelor's degree, and no experience, starts at $4,100, and if she has a master's degree, can go as high as $6,000 after 20 years.
I'm going to turn now to Mr. James Ross, principal of Norwalk High. Are you a Norwalk resident?
I came to Norwalk in 1954 to serve as high school principal. I came here directly from Oberlin High School, where I had been principal.
Why did you pick Norwalk?
Well, I suppose the biggest single reason was because of an earlier association with Mr. McBride and having admired the work he had done elsewhere, and that's one reason I came. And secondly, the town is attractive, good place to rear my children, and so I came to Norwalk. I would say this, on the positive side, Norwalk has a fine group of youngsters. They are, our school has relatively few severe discipline cases, and actually I find the student body very congenial, a very clean bunch of students and a fine group of boys and girls. About 30 to 35% of them plan to go on to college when they complete high school.
Okay, we'll watch you. This boy here looks as though he could play basketball. He's tall enough. Who is he?
John Matnovich, a high school senior. John actually isn't a basketball team, but he's a giant academically here in the high school.
Now, how, John, are you a giant academically?
Well, last year in the state scholarship tests, I took first in the state in chemistry.
I don't know whether I should talk to him, you know. He's too bright for that. What else are you interested in besides chemistry?
Chemistry and physics and mathematics.
You're going to travel elsewhere for your advanced education. Do you hope to come back to Norwalk to live?
No, I don't think I will ever come back to Norwalk after I graduate.
Let's meet one of the girls. What's your name?
Janet Brinker.
And Janet, what are you studying?
I'm taking a college preparatory course.
What college do you think you'll be going to?
Probably either Bowling Green or Miami.
Well, you'll be going soon. Both you and John are in your senior years, correct?
Yes.
And what do you hope to do after that, after college?
I'd like to become a girls' physical education teacher.
At Norwalk High?
Yes.
You then want to come back to Norwalk?
Yes, I do.
Have you lived here all your life?
No, I haven't. I moved from Pittsburgh 5 years ago.
And how do you like Norwalk?
I just love it. I'd never go back to Pittsburgh.
Next stop for Program PM, a quiet 2-story building off the main street, the home of the Norwalk Reflector Herald. The sounds you hear are those of an electric photo engraver, a teletype, all the sounds of a newspaper. And I'm at the Norwalk Reflector Herald talking with the general manager of the newspaper, Herman Schafsma. I have in front of me the letter which Kenneth Conway, our program PM host here in Norwalk, sent to us, in which he said that Norwalk is a town in which the graciousness of the past and the progressiveness and drive of modern industry and business are congenial neighbors. Then he added Norwalk is a dynamic and progressive town, but most of all, Norwalk is a people's town. It's a warm town, and it's a livable town. How's that for prose?
Very good, very good.
Want to put him on your staff?
That might be an idea.
And you agree with his sentiments?
I do to a considerable extent, yes. I do think that Norwalk might have more industry than it does now. And, but otherwise, generally, I would agree pretty well. I also think it might be a little more dynamic than it is. I don't think it's quite as dynamic as he indicates. It hasn't appeared that way to me, at any rate.
As an editor of a paper here in Norwalk, you're very much responsible for prodding the town along, just as any city official or responsible member of the community. Do you think Norwalk is keeping up with this present era, that it's keeping up and pointing to the future?
I think there are opportunities for improvement in its system of government. On the other hand, I think the present system is working fairly well. But it's a system that's been in use for many years here, and perhaps a new approach might help the situation.
You're not only an observer as editor of the town's newspaper, but you're also a businessman. And how good is a newspaper business in a town of 12,000? How large is your circulation and your staff?
We have a staff altogether of 24 people. Our news staff consists of 5 people. Business in the town is reasonably fair. We have fairly good support from our merchants as far as our newspaper is concerned.
From roll-top desk to modern photo engraver, the small-town editor taking his important part in the life of Norwalk, Ohio. Next stop, southwest of the center of town, a visit to a vital symbol of the community spirit. In every community, one proud community achievement stands out. And in Norwalk, it's the hospital, the Fisher-Titus Memorial Hospital on the south side of Norwalk. And I'm speaking with William Slobodnik, administrator of the hospital. Bill, how many rooms are there here? How many beds? How large is it?
Well, we have 101 adult and pediatric beds, and we have 24 bassinets.
It's an unusual hospital. I wish that you could see it. It's all laid out on one floor, extending over quite a good deal of land, lots of windows and so on. Is this the new design?
Well, this is the latest design in hospital construction. I think this is one of the first hospitals of its kind that was built along this line of a one-floor installation.
When was it built?
I don't know when the construction actually started, but it was completed in '57, and we moved in on December 12th of '57.
I say that this hospital represents a community achievement because, to my knowledge, it was built with community funds. Is that correct?
That's right. It was built through funds raised through public subscription by the individuals and the industries in the community.
Just about everyone did participate in its construction and funding.
Oh, I think there was a good representation on the part of the community.
Why the name Fisher-Titus Memorial Hospital?
Well, a large part of the funds which were raised were donated by the generosity of the Fisher family, that is Mr. William Andrew Fisher, and consequently in gratitude to his family, and I believe the Titus family, which is his wife's family name, the hospital is named the Fisher-Titus Memorial Hospital.
As far as this hospital is concerned, it certainly looks to me what we call a grade A or a class A or the best hospital. Are there many communities of this size, 12,000, that can boast such fine hospital facilities?
Well, I'm sure there are many communities of 12,000 that have fine hospitals. Now, whether or not I can categorically say that this is the finest, I don't know. I think it is.
What about extra facilities in addition to simply beds and so on, such as x-ray facilities?
Well, we have all the facilities that you would find in a good general hospital, as x-ray and laboratory for diagnostic and therapeutic purposes. And I think it meets all the criteria of the Joint Commission on Hospital Accreditation because we are fully accredited by this commission.
Now, Bill, this is a private hospital, though. It's not a municipal hospital.
That's right. This is a private, non-profit corporation, and which means that the hospital is operated by an association for the community and none of the dividends and none of the profits, if we can use that word in hospitals, inure to any individual or group of individuals. It is purely a community function for the community and the surrounding areas of Norwalk.
And what do you think of Norwalk now that they have this beautiful hospital for you to administer?
Well, aside from the hospital, I think Norwalk's a terrific town. We're very happy to be here. My wife and I think it's just as nice as any place we could find, and nicer than many.
A relative newcomer to Norwalk, but an enthusiastic one. And so I traveled back into the center of Norwalk, the late afternoon crowding the sidewalk with shoppers, school children, and men and women on their way home from work. I turned off Main Street, back down toward the Norwalk Parts Company. Back where we started at the Norwalk Parts Company with Ken Conway, our host tonight, as we visited the town of Norwalk, Ohio on PM Goes Calling. And Ken, we've seen an awful lot today. We've seen the mayor and we've seen a barber. We've lunched with some of your businessmen. We've met your industrial leaders. We've toured your hospital. And we've seen quite a bit. We talked with the editor of your town paper. Do you think we got around and saw the town?
Well, of course, Carl, there's many more things we could have seen, but time is limited. I hope someday you'll be able to come back and maybe see some of the things we didn't see today.
Okay, you say that it's a people's town, and I agree. And I would certainly invite and suggest to our PM listeners, if they're out for a Sunday drive someday and they're near Norwalk, that they come over and take a look. It certainly is a people's town and a livable town, as you wrote to us in your letter. And Program PM will be visiting a city each week, a city in northern Ohio. We hope that those listening tonight, as they heard this sound portrait of the city of Norwalk, will invite us to their towns too. Ken Conway, Norwalk, Ohio, I certainly want to thank you and the kind people here in your town that showed us around today. Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming, Carl.
And that's about Program PM for tonight. And this is Carl Stern bidding you good night for Program PM. KYW Dial 11 in Cleveland. News is next.